Let's now get a read on all the themes set to drive markets this week. Pete McGuire from XM joins us now live. Pete, great to have you on this Monday morning. Look, it's going to be pretty quiet here, I would have thought, here locally, as a lot of the country are on holiday, but there's SPY futures pointing to the green and a pretty good lead from Wall Street.
Absolutely. Good morning, Kara. Beautiful beautiful Monday morning, I should say. Very sunny in Sydney, and so it's I think that might take the market, and that sunshine we might even get up a little bit higher, because that actual mood coming out of Wall Street on Friday night, Saturday morning here was very, very strong. And whilst we don't have a lot of things happening here, we've certainly got a lot of things happening globally, and we've got some big news coming out of OPEC later today as far as a big rise in possible production output, raise in production output. And the markets have had the most incredible week. I thought last week was absolutely on fire, especially the currency markets.
Well, let's chat OPEC then, as you just mentioned it, oil price action. What are we set to see this week, do you think?
Well, I tell you what, when you're talking about, their push to the upside, we're nearly at $80 a barrel for Brent. We're through that nearly $76 a barrel for WTI. I think that momentum will continue. The inflation story is certainly a major concern for the consumer, and where we're looking at the moment, we've got supply issues, certain issues affecting Europe, and of course what's going on in the UK. So that production output increase, the alliance, the OPEC Plus alliance, are looking at raising about 400,000 plus barrels a day. So there's this first storyline. The second one is, what does it do to price? And the US dollar's had a nice, very strong move to the upside over the last week and a bit. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to take an $81 handle out for Brent very, very shortly, and possibly a 77 for WTI.
And what does that mean then for the local unit? You mentioned the US dollar there. I mean, we seem to be sitting pretty around that 72.50 mark at the moment, but further weakness, do you think?
Well, it could well be. I think that wouldn't surprise me. That US dollar, Kara, really was just one-way traffic last week. Went from 93 odd, just on that 93 level to about 94.5. So that move really, I think, hit everyone between the eyes. That actual strength of that US dollar, as you said, that 72.50 could be about the top of it this week. We might see a little bit further softness as far as the Aussie. Kiwi could take a little bit of a bounce to the upside, though I'm not expecting a great deal. They're all saying that it's a baked-in 25 basis point on Wednesday. Their central banks meet, but the real standouts was certainly the euro and what the yen has experienced over the last matter of days.
And of course, non-farm payroll numbers on Friday, Pete, a bit of volatility maybe?
Yeah. I think so. We're thinking about 500,000. That'll come out Friday evening, New York, well, Sydney time, and that's certainly, what that impact to the markets. Though last month was very much an underwhelming number, and that was August at about 235,000. So if we are close to that 500,000, that's going to be I think a confidence level booster to the overall theme of where the central bank plays with taper, pull off, taking that off the market, and the rate rises, and certainly that's what everyone's after. But the concern, I think, also is that light or that softness across a stagflation sort of story. From what I'm reading, we've got inflation, we certainly know that. And are we going to get that economic growth into 22 that everyone's certainly preying on? It's just going to be a little bit of a wait and see how central bankers view it.
Yeah, so if we do get that taper this month, Pete, do you think that we are going to see further pullbacks in equity markets?
I think October is going to be very volatile. We all know that October in history, if you're looking at the big three, washouts have always been in that October month. I'm not suggesting you're going to see big washouts, but I think you're going to see volatility, and that is a boon for traders. And they've just got to be very mindful of all of those moving parts, from currencies to what central banks are experiencing and supply shocks. And they're the ones that I think everyone's got to be very centered on. You've been in this. This is a 24-hour-a-day business as far as currency markets, Kara. And I think October is going to be one to really surprise us on a lot of levels.
So Pete, where does that leave the story for gold then, precious metals?
you're sitting at 1760. We've had a big, strong push up as far as that US dollar, Kara, and the gold market has taken a bit of a push down, as we've seen. So let's just see what happens as far as that US dollar. Let's see what happens Friday night as far as non-farm payrolls. But I feel the momentum is going to be pushing higher for gold because of the uncertainty factor and supply shocks and other issues that can affect that mindset as far as where traders want to be across the gold sector.
Pete, always great to chat. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday morning.
Have a great week, Kara. Thank you.